Well, guys, I'm on to the next step of working on this electric glide. Um, Several things I want to do to make it mine. You know, it's basically the way it was when I bought it. Still, about a little over a year ago. And one of the things I'm going to do is I don't know if you could tell with the video right now, but this headlight it's all cloudy. Um, So what I'm going to do is change out all three of these lights to LEDs. Um, Previous owner had the visors on there. I think I'm going to take those off. I'm sort of a minimalist, and usually when the only time I put something on a motorcycle, it's going to have some function to it. Usually not anything that's just looks or aesthetics, whatever you want to call it. Um, so and what I'm going to go with is, and some of you might cringe, and I'm probably going to get comments about it. Probably going to go with Sun Pi headlights. And if you don't like them, I'm sorry. But I will tell you that I have those also on my 05. Let me take you over here real quick. Old Joe, as he's called, has the blacked out Sun Pis. He's had those on there for about 3 years now. They have not failed me, not let me down, and that's what I'm going to go with because I've been satisfied with them. So, and the light on them is actually pretty good. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to change out those headlights and put the Sun Pi LEDs in, and we'll just save the originals. So the first thing that is needed to take off, you're going to take off your headlight rings, and there's one Phillips down here on the bottom of the main headlight. Then your accessory lights or your passing lamps, whichever you want to call them. There's a Phillips on the sides or on the bottom of this as well. Be careful. There's a small nut that it's threading into, so you might, be sure not to lose that. It's going to probably fall. But so I'm gonna time lapse through this so that it's not wasting time. Let me tell you a little something about these passing lamps. So this is a Wagner 4449 bulb, and these particular lights, there's actually tabs on the sides of the, instead of, using a screw to attach the terminal, it's actually plug-ins on the sides for your wires. Disassembling these, this little nut will easily fall out of here. When it's in place, it's kind of held to not turn, and just be careful of those because they'll fall out and it could disappear on a garage floor real quick. So once you take the Phillips, it's kind of like a little sheet metal screw almost. There's one little Phillips screw in the bottom of this, and then, I mean, with your hands you can get it. You just get behind the ring and really pry out on it, and it's going to come out. And then your lights right there. By all means, don't forget to lubricate the brain. Certainly makes for me personally, a little more relaxed work time. All right, so yeah, the ring, I forgot, you got another retainer. The bulb retainer has actually got 3 screws in on it here. One's here, here, and here, so you got to remove those. All right, so once you got your 3 small, very small screws out of the retaining ring, pull the retaining ring off, and the headlamp this is actually just a separate unit, and it takes an H4 bulb. So this connector, it's got little pinch tabs on the sides to release it, to get it to come off, and it should come off very easily. And then underneath your rubber boot, there's your H4 bulb inside your reflector, and just save it. Okay, so we got the headlights, the lamps, the reflectors, whatever you want to call it. We got all those out. I'm going to start putting things back together just to keep everything in, keep me from losing any hardware or parts, and also to remember where everything was going. Now, what I can remember is when I did my my black electric light over there, that one's a 2005. This is a 2003, obviously, anniversary. I noticed that I do have to take the back shell off of the out of the fairing. So I'm anticipating I'm doing that again on this one, and then I will. There's a new one supplied in the kit for the SunPie LED light. So like I said, I'm just putting this hardware back in so that I don't lose it. And now I'm going to take the back shell of the headlamp out. So you got, let's see, looks like 4 fasteners, to here, to here. They are T25 Torx. I have my left passing lamp installed. It's just kind of a mock-up right now because I want to show you how SunPie assembles these kits. So obviously here's your existing wires. There's clips on both of them to slide onto tabs. But SunPie doesn't do it that way. SunPie is going to give you a pigtail with a connector, and that's a lot of stuff to push into the backing of this light. I can't remember exactly how I did my 2005, but I think what I might have done was I might have cut about 1 inch from the connector, cut these wires. I might have stripped a little bit more of this sheathing back a little bit, and did a hard splice into this one's your ground, which is going to the back shell of the light. This is your 12 volt. I think I did that because to eliminate the connector, because the connector, once this is all pressed in there, it's very tight. Right now I have this one setting in there with the half of the connector. I disconnected this pigtail, so this is off, and I just have this much stuffed into that side. I don't know if you can get both halves of this connector in the back of that light. So like I said, I think what I did was I went about 1 inch behind this connector and I cut it, and I hard spliced these into the ground and the power on my other electric line. And then, so that's half your battle. The other part of your battle is there's a retaining ring right here. This retaining ring is going to sit kind of on the curve of the headlight, and it very lightly positions this. You see this tab here on the bottom? It very lightly, and you got to do this with finesse, okay? It kind of positions it so you got your horizontal tabs to lock your light into place horizontally. Yeah, so if you can get another person to help you with this process, it would be beneficial, especially if you don't have a whole lot of patience for, you know, putting parts like these on a motorcycle or on anything, I guess. It's kind of like aircraft maintenance is a whole lot the same way. The engineers that designed airplanes are just, you want to punch them. Quite honestly, because they designed airplanes without the intent of working on them. Anyways, so like I said, this one's just a mock-up right now. I wanted to make sure it was going to attach with the ring and everything, and I got this one in place. It's not connected. I'm going to pull this one back off. Right now, we're going to do the main headlight, which the Sun Pi light has everything. It's fully assembled in the kit when you get it. The small LED is on the top. The larger LED is on the bottom. And it's got the F. Or I'm sorry, not the F, the H4 plug, just like your bulb. So you can plug it in, plug and play that part of it. Set your stuff back. And then again, we're doing a little bit of finesse, but it should be pretty much a straight bolt in. You take those Torx head fasteners that were holding the original mounting bracket in place, and you're going to use those on this one. I'm just going to get all 4 of them started. Try to keep these fasteners upper, lower, you know, left side, right side, because you'd be surprised when you use the same fastener in the same hole how much more grip it's going to maintain, because basically the threads are already cut into the material, this case being the fiberglass fairing, and it's not cutting, the threads aren't cutting aren't recutting the material. They're using the same cut. You understand what I'm saying on that? It's going to minimize the looseness of these fasteners. So just like this, go in with your hardware. Remember, this is fiberglass, it's not metal. I'm using a short 1/4 inch ratchet, and I'm not putting a whole lot of torque on this yet. But remember, this is fiberglass. You don't want to rip it out, otherwise you're going to have some headaches with it. I like the way that's looking. I like to use LEDs, number one, because generally speaking, the light, you can get a better light from the LED, and it certainly goes easy on your generator for the motorcycle. All right, so there's the main headlight mocked in. So now I'm going to determine how I'm going to attach the passing lamps. I think I'm going to do like I did before. I'm going to cut these off. I'll probably take it an inch off of the back of the connector here. Cut about an inch back on both sides, just so that I have room if I ever wanted to splice these back in. I have something to splice to. And then I'm going to take 1 inch off of the back of here, make a cut, and splice these wires together. Okay, so I'm going to show you the way that I'm doing this. This is on the light, the new light. I've cut about, so this is like where the edge of the connector was, and I cut back, let's say, an inch off of that, for the sake of if I ever wanted to splice the connector back into something, into this, I can do it. So I've pre-crimped some splices onto this, onto these, and then I'll do the same on the wires coming out of the passing lamp back shell, and then just connect them. So I just want to remind you of one thing. So once you've got your light wires cut, and you've got splices started on these, and you've got your wires on the motorcycle stripped and ready to get spliced, you want to be absolutely sure you don't forget to put this ring on there, your positioning ring, and it goes on as such. The curve of the ring goes towards the curve of the light back shell. If you splice these together before you do that, you got no way of putting this ring on afterwards. You're going to have to redo your splices, and you're going to be upset. Alrighty, we're all finished on the install. Plastic off. And of course it doesn't maintain that original look, but I'm going for less amp draw on the charging system and very good light. So I hope gave you some tips on that, help you if you choose to go with LEDs and you choose to go with SunPie in particular. That was I have several other friends that have put these on their bikes, and they've been pretty satisfied with them, and they're very, very reasonable. They're not gonna empty your wallet. Certainly not like some other brands out there. So that's it for the headlights. We'll do a test as soon as I hook up the battery. Lights test. Unless you got a dead battery. About that. Pretty cool. Digging it. Very awesome. Another job done. Excellent.
From grace was a sight to see. Good turn to bad, the bad turn to misery. I found out what it is and what it's not. And all I asked for sure ain't what I got now. Well, I can read the rule on the put up with. Dance with the devil till I'm in this. And all I got, and there ain't much left. Well, my fall from grace was a sight to see. Nobody even cared what became of me. Do I have to get down on my knees? Ask the Lord above, have mercy, please. Well, I've been reading on the one way. Dance with the devil till I've been given to God like God, and there ain't much left for me. I've been knocked down, drug, and left for dead. Badly held together by a few old threads. Hey, I'm still here, there ain't much left to see, no. Well, I'm still holding on. Well, there ain't much left to be, no. Well, there ain't much left to be. I said there ain't much left to be, no. Yeah, well, there ain't much left to be, oh. Let's call it a night.